My proposal is like 10% of the revenue generated, and then a monthly base fee of the entire system, like all the content and the scripting and everything, of 5K. This is the system. I'll go over everything really quickly. When the page does blow up, like, it's like a money printer for both of us.
I understand the value that you're bringing. It's just that 5K sounds a little bit too much for me right now. I could always maybe outsource someone and it would be cheaper.
I'm not a video editor. Like if you want a video editor, you can find one from India for like $4 an hour, but
Yeah,
they won't know how to build an audience that's congruent with what you sell. And when
yeah.
you shift beliefs, that's what truly influences purchasing behavior and is going to attract higher quality people to work with who can actually afford to pay for your consulting.
I just made the payment. I don't know if you can see it.
All right. I'm so nervous. All right, we gotta log in. We gotta log in. Nervous laughter, man. I'm the worst when it comes to this. All right. He says he's ready. Hold on. Lucas,
Hello, good to see you.
nice to meet you, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me well?
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, bro. Appreciate you hopping on this call today. I know we were going a little bit back and forth on the Instagram DMs, but happy we can meet face to face and sort of go over like the strategy in terms of your content system.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for this. I want to hear more about it.
Yeah.
Uh, so let's see what you have for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you like it. I took the liberty to create a couple like trial videos as well that I want to run by you just so we can really create an angle together that's unique to your personal brand and that eventually we can make sales with as well. So we're not just getting empty views.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really comes down to like your specific goals on what you're looking for, out of your personal brand and out of like your consulting offer. Because I know we slightly talked about it on the DMs, but why don't you like slightly give me some more information so I can like make a more accurate like content strategy around it.
Yeah, so I mean, as I mentioned to you over the text, I feel like personal brand is right now the right move to do, right? Like everyone is doing it, and probably if anything, I'm even already a little bit behind. But I started my e-commerce journey only what a year and a half ago, so it hasn't been that long. And honestly, the whole idea just started. I had a very good friend of mine came to visit me to LA. He's actually into trading, but he does like big personal branding and everything. And we were just sitting in the sauna, right? And we're talking about business, he's talking about his business side. I'm talking about e-commerce a little bit. I'm throwing out there what's working for me right now and everything. And he just paused for a second. He looked at me and was like, dude, like, why you're not doing content? And I don't know,
Yeah.
I always wanted to have this mindset of like, oh, I want to make money without anyone knowing what I'm doing. I feel like sometimes that silence is better. But at the same time, it's like I do have good value to share to other people. And I don't want to be just selling a course just to sell a course, and make more money. Like I genuinely want to provide value. And I think I have the experience, even though it's a short experience, like I've done multiple seven figures. I'm building right now the supplement brand that I told you about
Hmm.
actively. So I just think it would be stupid of me not to try this out, not to build my personal brand. And probably eventually, not right off the bat, but maybe do start a consulting service as well. But for
Okay.
now, I just kind of want to put the value out there, see what comes out of it. If something comes out, great. If not, at least I'll say I'll try.
Okay. So essentially you're looking to build an audience first and to sort of like get your name out there around e-commerce. And then down the line, as demand grows, and you mentioned provide value, offer some sort of like paid consulting where people can learn, like all your Shopify secrets, or if you want to go into supplements, more of like the strategy behind it. Like, does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean, I already start posting on Twitter. Like, I have some following. I'm already providing value and like giving out some PDFs and everything.
Okay.
And I do see like good results. I just grew my Twitter like I'm maybe to like 900 followers, like without putting too much effort. So it's a
Hmm.
good start. So I think it would just be a right idea for me to start doing the short-line content. Instagram Reels, TikTok, maybe YouTube Shorts, and as well do the long format content as well on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely recommend it. There's a lot of different ways where we can structure it, where your YouTube is the client acquisition, or maybe you use Instagram that feeds into the YouTube, and the YouTube's more
Yeah.
like the value based that isn't really supposed to get views. It's supposed to educate your audience.
Yeah.
So it really depends on who you sell to. And
Hmm.
when you mention consulting offer, would you be consulting beginners or would you be more of like the intermediate to advanced level entrepreneurs?
I think I can do both, you know. I feel like with the beginners, it's probably a little bit easier,
Hmm.
but maybe it would be a little bit more fulfilling to talk to the guys and share my ideas and my knowledge that are a little bit more advanced. Because you
Okay.
also never know, maybe there's something I can take from them. So I'm kind of very open. I would just probably start the process, see how it goes, which is maybe a little bit more like leaning to me, and which one, maybe it brings more rewards for me as well. So like, as of today, I don't really give you an answer. I know for the strategy, and just like writing ads, you kind of need to know who's your avatar, who you're focused on. But maybe
Exactly.
from this call, you can walk me through and see what would be the ideas, and then maybe that will kind of clear the things up for me as well.
Yeah, I totally respect you want to do both, and I think there's a lot of value in it. But I recommend you get started with one first, just because
Mm.
the pain points are different. And
Yeah,
especially with the content, we want to actually target your ICP, your ideal customer profile, and make them feel understood. And
yeah,
if we're talking to beginners and to intermediates at the same time, it's not possible because those are two different people with two different issues they need solving.
yeah, of course.
So,
Now,
yeah.
I get it. I just don't know how much I really want to do those videos of like, oh, this is how you build a Shopify store, right? Because first of all, it's very sophisticated. There's a lot of guys doing that. Second of all, like it's not really gonna fulfill me of like, hey, like this is how you set up the settings on Shopify, or this is how you design a website. Like I feel like this is such a like, starting kind of knowledge. And I would like to actually share because a lot of those guys, why they do that, and that's my opinion, I think because they don't have more value to share. They maybe had one dropshipping store with one or two ads that just ripped. Now they have the Shopify dashboard to show as a proof, but that's all they can really like the value that they can provide, right? Like I actually preach what I do. So or I do what I preach. So for me, it's like, okay, I can actually give the value, and that's why maybe I would want to focus that. Also, I could probably, let's say, charge more, because
Okay.
there's more value, and I would target guys that are already making some kind of money rather than someone's using their parents' money, and giving me out their last, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
$1,000. So I
I
feel
got
like
it.
there's those aspects as well that I don't want to be a dickhead as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, so it's a very like fine line between like building your brand equity and to be honest, people buy from people they like. So it's a
Yeah,
lot of like relatability in proportion with the value, but at the same time like hitting people's pain points so we can optimize for conversions.
yeah,
Uh, and that's probably the main difference. And I'll tell you here is like I'm not a video editor. Like if you want a video editor, you can find one from India for like $4 an hour, but they
yeah,
won't know how to build an audience that's congruent with what you sell in your offer. And I know you don't sell anything quite yet, but that's why it's good that we're on the call now so we can build it up properly. Because most people, they'll post videos with no idea who they're actually trying to target. And then when it's time to sell a consulting offer, or really anything, even if it's like merch or something random, it just never really goes well for them.
yeah.
So if you do want to go down the intermediate route, that's fine. But my main point is just pick one. It's either beginners or intermediates, because then we can really like create like that avatar that you mentioned, and we know what type of content would better appeal to them.
Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, I guess I don't have to give you an answer like right now this
Yeah,
second,
yeah,
right?
it's something to think about. So that video you sent over, I actually created like a trial for you just so you can see sort of like my work and like what it would look like. So I'll share my screen really quickly. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so you can see kind of what it would be. Um, okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll play it right now. It's only like 30 seconds long.
$30,000. That's how much I made in 1 month doing e-commerce for the first time ever. I never built a Shopify store before. I never run Facebook ads in my life. I never bought a course and I didn't have a mentor. And I definitely didn't know what I was doing. But somehow I made 30 grand in 30 days. And in this video, I'm gonna break it down exactly how it happened, the mistakes I made, and what I would do differently today.
Okay, so that's it right there. And then at the end, you'll see how it says comment video for the link. And
Yeah.
essentially, the reason we have that is because the CTA will go into a software I'll set up for you called ManyChat. And
Hmm.
basically, let me share that tab. It's an automation.
I know. I actually use ManyChat. I think my first gig
Oh,
was creating the automated messages for the business. It was like 15, 16, and I used ManyChat actually before. So
okay, perfect. So you know how it
yeah,
works then.
yeah,
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, it's just a really simple animation. There's no need to make it complicated. It's just an example of, the simplicity. What you do e-com, so remove friction, right? When the
yeah,
store converts, when there isn't a lot of random pop-ups, it's one word. So in this case, it would be video. Then it would be a 2-minute delay, just so it seems a little bit natural, a little bit more authentic, and it would send them a pre-recorded voice message of you asking about their e-com goals, maybe the level that they're at, and then seeing if they'd be, a good person to work with and like
okay.
with your intermediate consulting.
I like the voice message thing. That's a good like personal touch.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's better than just like a text itself because they can hear you and it sounds,
Yeah.
yeah, it's more personal, like you mentioned. And then like another thing is you'll notice in the video itself, um, right now it's to be honest, it's a little bit more geared toward beginners, but I know it's just an example. But it actually pre-handles objections. And so when you say, you didn't know what you were doing, but you somehow did it, and that you didn't have any experience, that's a common like problem that most people think they have with dropshipping. It's like, oh, I need to know ads, I need to buy a course, I need to have Shopify experience. By you saying, look, you did it without it, you're shifting a belief in them. And when
Yeah.
you shift beliefs, that's what truly influences purchasing behavior and is going to attract higher quality people to work with who can actually afford to pay for your consulting.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. The video isn't bad at all. The only thing, and that's like I guess that's just like a very small detail on the Shopify dashboard thing when it says 30,000, you
Yeah.
also attach the conversion rate, which is fine. The only thing, let's say, I would change there is that the conversion rate, I can't even tell. It's like, oh no, is it total orders? Oh, it's total orders. My bad, my bad. Never mind that. Everything's good.
Okay. Yeah. So how about the style? So I mean, the script we can obviously nail. Like the hooks, that's something I'll take care of it for you, and especially with like handling the objections. But is this like more of the educational style that you would be like okay with doing?
Yeah, no, I like this, and that was the whole idea of that my first video, right? Telling my first story, how I made, the 30 grand with my first store ever.
Uh-huh.
It's good. The only thing that I told my editor, the one that did this video, I didn't really maybe love the colors and the font. Like it just kind of looks like Times New Roman font and everything. But I mean, it's not your fault, right? You just kind of took what the editor did.
Yeah.
But there was like those small details, but the whole aspect of it, yeah, like I think this is exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I'm happy to hear that. So I built a little strategy for us just so I can really see where your head's at and you can see like my thought process behind it. Um, because at the end of the day, like creating, a personal brand, like the word personal is there. And so we want a specific angle or a mechanism that makes you stand out, that establishes your authority as an e-commerce educator who, once again, isn't like that, typical guy that's just selling to beginners.
Yeah.
So I'll pull that up and I'll walk you through it really quickly. Um, and you can kind of stop me and ask questions on things you think needs to be done differently. But
I love this that you did some homework that you came prepared. That's
yeah,
that
yeah,
says
that's
a
the
lot.
point. Awesome. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, yeah. Wait, let me actually pull this full screen because um okay, I see it better now.
Okay, perfect. So this is the system. I'll go over everything really quickly, but I just want to start off with like an example video because I did a deep dive on the e-commerce niche. I
Mhm.
actually used to drop ship myself like back in high school. So I kind of
Okay.
understand like, building like a winning store, having a Shopify product that, solves a problem and that's not like a gimmick. So, and then that's another thing that a typical video editor won't know. And it's why you can use me as like an asset because I'll understand what your target audience is going through because technically I used to be your target audience. And I'll play
Yeah,
an
how did it
example.
go for you actually?
What's that?
How did your dropshipping store went?
I think I had one store that did well. and I made
Okay.
I think I made a couple $1,000s, but like it
Okay.
was organic, so there was pretty good profit, but it was never consistent. It just fizzled out.
So, but why did you stop? I mean, you made a couple $1,000s already, right? Like, why didn't you didn't stuck to it?
Yeah, to be honest, I tried sticking to it. It's more of just like I think I'm better with working with clients like you, for example.
Uh-huh.
And I really understand the like the consulting space. So I actually bought a drop shipping course, and that's how I learned about drop
Yeah.
shipping. But I
Who did you buy
start
it from?
um
Do you
Toozer.
remember?
Toozer. His name was Toozer.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I paid like $1,000 for it.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's how I learned. But then I noticed how he was running his personal brand. And because I was in the program, I actually saw like, the people that wanted to come in, when they came in, what were their biggest issues? And so like I remember in one of the calls with him, I would just tell him like from my experience, like pain points and things he can talk about in the content. And then that's kind of like how I got into it.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so yeah, let me play this video really quickly. This
Yeah.
is someone who does high ticket e-commerce. So I believe he sells um, an ice bath, like the portable ones, and he does a consulting offer. I think he launched it pretty recently. But let me play the video. Yeah, these are, hold on, I think there was a video of him with it. Yeah, it's right there. Um, the tumbler tank. But I'll play the video and I'll kind of explain my thought process behind why we can do something similar with you.
Brand or drop shipping. You're trying to find more ways in 2026 to drive profitable revenue to your business. Watch this. But before I give you this sauce, as you can see right here, this AI software drove an extra $150,000 in profitable revenue to my brand in just 1 month. But check this out. This is crazy. This is literally a plugin on my website that functions just like ChatGPT. And most of you watching this right now probably use ChatGPT more than you even realize every single day. And why do you do that? Because it's fast and it's efficient. So naturally, having this on your website speeds up the buyer journey, which what does that do? That boosts your conversion rate, which naturally brings in more revenues. People can literally use this to ask any question they want about any product on my website. And most importantly, this does not just function like an additional sales rep for my business. It also functions like another customer service rep for my brand as well. And unfortunately, most of y'all watching this are not going to take action, but the ones that do, you're going to see some crazy results. I can assure you that. As you can see, it made my brand $157,000 in just 1 month. If you run a
So that's the video. And the reason I really like it, and I think we can do something similar with you, is because it's founder-led content. And so
Mhm.
it might be trivial, like, oh, just this one, AI software in his brand, but it establishes two things fundamentally without coming across really salesy, which builds trust. And that's, well, one, it shows that he has a brand. It's like it's proof focused. He showed he did 157,000 orders or whatever, 1,000 sales last month. And then he shows his website and then he talks about, something that increased conversions. And that's providing free value, is building goodwill with an audience. And they're in turn trusting him. And then also they're establishing like psychologically as, okay, he's the authority. I need to learn from him.
Mhm. Okay.
So that's just one example, and there's a lot of other ones, but it does come down to angles, and I'll
Yes.
sort of explain why. Because so this is a pretty competitive industry. Like you have people like Nathan Nazareth, people like Andy Starring, people like Jordan Welsh. Have you seen any of these people before?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen all of them.
Okay. So, a big thing with Nathan is if you've noticed his content, back in the day in like 2024, and you can scroll down and see a lot of how he would sell his consulting offer was around lifestyle. It was around, okay, you have a profitable drop shipping e-commerce brand to buy a Lamborghini and to, have a brand new Mercedes you like have fun in. But then too many people started running that angle. And in a way, it became a little saturated. And I know, like, just because it's saturated doesn't mean it doesn't work, but it wasn't as novel. And then he switched to, if you see his content 2026, it's more of the time freedom and location freedom, which is you make money online through e-commerce to travel the world or spend more time with your loved ones. And I mean, you can see the difference in the view count. and like, I don't work with him, but I noticed this from a third party perspective is it blew up his page. And it would also attract people who maybe like, if you think about it, who's watching content excited about cars? It's typically like 16-year-old kids versus
Yeah.
it'll attract a more qualified lead, someone that could actually afford to buy your consulting when you do launch it, if it's for like more of a wholesome purpose.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I would argue a little bit with this just because I know I've seen Nathan's content and it is very much beginner level. So I mean, I don't know. That might be just one video, right? I would need to look at through it. But a lot of his like target avatar is the 16-year-old kids that want the car, because his content is like, oh, this is how you build a Shopify store,
right.
So I mean, I don't know, maybe that video went viral, and the other one didn't. You could probably pull up like two videos right now from 2026, the one that got 7 million views and the one that maybe got only 20,000 views. But I get the idea with the angle. Again, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like ads, like how you're selling a product, you're also
Mhm.
targeting a specific avatar. If it's saturated market, you maybe have some new mechanism that you're offering, how you're solving the pain point. It's kind of feel like similar here with the personal brand as well, right? So I guess that's like your whole idea that you kind of have to find like a unique angle that you're going to target.
Right. And you know what, Lucas? I 100% agree with you. He does sell to beginners. And if anything, that actually proves the point because when you sell to intermediates, well, they don't care about the cars anyways either. So if Nathan's making that shift, it's even more of a reason that you should too. And like we should start off with more of the value-based content, like
Yeah.
with this guy. Because I mean, if even Nathan's doing it, if it's even not even working on beginners anymore, because they're, not really converting, well then I mean the proof's in the pudding here.
Is this guy the Instagram guy with this one right now and sitting in 911? Are you working with him or no? Or you're just like a random guy?
No, no, I don't work with him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just analyzing your niche here because it's
Yeah.
important to look at the market,
I
and
was
so
just curious.
yeah, and so how we can stand out. And I mean, it just comes down to sort of like what our message is going to be. I mean, the
Yeah.
credibility we have established, that's what you shared with me here. And it's
Yeah.
sort of like a split. It's not like every single video we have to just talk and talk about brand strategy because, this content won't really get that many views. It'll convert the current audience that you have. But in
Yeah.
order to grow the page, we need a little bit more of the top of funnel of content. And so are you aware about like sort of the buying journey and how it works?
Yeah. I
Okay.
do I do e-commerce. If I
Right.
wouldn't be aware, it would be alarming.
Yeah. So I mean it's a little bit different with personal branding because it's not like an ad, it's organic content. And with an ad, people like watch the ad, if they like it, they click and they buy. However, with organic content, it's pretty unreasonable for someone to watch one piece of content from you and then buy.
Yeah.
Typically, like what happens is the buyer journey is they watch one top of funnel video, something that goes a little bit more viral, and then they watch a second video, maybe even a third video that finally breaks down what it is. So they have more like an informed purchasing decision from you.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's the difference. Like you might be, do you do organic e-commerce or is it all ads?
No, everything is paid advertisement. I don't
Okay.
do organic.
So that's the discrepancy.
Yeah.
Is that with organic, people don't, there's actually like a 7-Eleven rule. They need 7 touch points and 11 hours watched before they actually buy. Like that's the general statistic.
Okay.
And so the touch points could be like 6 short form videos and maybe one YouTube video. Um, they don't have to, right? That's just like a typical like industry standard. But that's why like when we think about content philosophy, I
Mhm.
recommend, heavily veering toward the education because it's going to establish you as that authority that we talked about, not just the guru, for example. But also, we want some proof. And then I would personally want to mix in some top of funnel content just so we can get your brand out there and really like have a cult-like audience that follows you.
So what can you walk me through what would be like top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel like content?
Yeah, so top of the funnel, it would be more of like the lifestyle stuff. But when I
Mhm.
say lifestyle, the point of it isn't to sell. It's just to like understand like the benefits of e-commerce and who you
Yeah.
are as a person. So I actually think he does an okay job of it. But if we want to see like whenever it's him talking about living in Miami or he's driving, I think he owns uh, a Maserati, that would be the top of funnel content. And then when he mixes in like, th tips about protecting your store from chargebacks, that would be like middle or bottom of funnel.
Hmm. But what do you think is okay? I see some videos got a little bit more
So
views,
yeah,
but
maybe
like,
Nathan would
so
be a
it seems
better
like he's
example.
posting consistently as a system. Yeah, but okay, well, this guy is probably more relatable to me because Nathan has been doing it for a long time, right? He has a lot of following, like he
Yep.
already has a big platform. What do you think about that guy? I didn't catch his name. Was it Sebastian or something? No.
Damn.
What do you think? Like, oh, so, yeah. So what do you think with Sam is like lacking or not working that like he's not going viral with his videos, you know? Because he seems like he's posting consistently a lot. He seems like
Hmm.
he has the systems, but like he's getting like 4,000 views, 3,000 views, you know?
Yeah. And that's a great question. And that's what it comes back to that we mentioned earlier. There's no top of funnel content. But to be honest, like
Hmm.
you don't always need it because, it might be 4,000 views, but because he's talking about specific e-commerce tactics and scaling like blueprints, these 4,000 people are probably worth more than like 50,000 people that are just kind of random. Like this is an engaged viewer, maybe someone like me, for example, instead of like a 15-year-old kid.
Fair enough.
And if you also like go to YouTube and you just search up drop shipping, I mean, this is a niche that like is so popular. And that
Yeah.
even with the bottom of funnel content, like drop shipping is such a keyword. And it's a built out market where people can naturally just find you even if you do, have more videos like him.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wouldn't look at the view count and get worried because remember, this is like we're focusing on like making money from it. We're focused on like building an offer that can sell. And so we want the audience to be able to afford it. Like, and that's the first like thing we should look at.
Yeah, but if you don't get in reach with your audience, you know, you're not gonna have the audience that buys it. So the view count, I understand your point. Maybe it's not the main factor to look at, but it still shows, you know, the data doesn't lie. And if you don't get in touch with a lot of people, like how many buyers are you actually gonna have, you know?
Agreed. But I mean, so that's kind of like what the thousand true fans principle is. I'm actually not sure if I put it in here, but if you get 1,000 buyers, and let's say your consulting offers $1,000, that's 1 million.
Yeah.
So, personally, for you, I'd love to optimize for even if it is 4,000 views, 1,000 of them are like your ideal client, and you can make money from it. But I do see your point. Like, yeah, we'll have some more top of funnel content that's maybe more based on like your life and who you are as a person. So we have that like reach potential to go viral.
Hmm. Do you think it's possible with the personal branding? Because like that's something we do with ads. We take through the whole journey. Like we take our customer from, let's say, unaware stage or maybe problem aware, and throughout the video, you take them from like problem aware to solution aware to product aware to the most aware, where then you like make them the purchase in just one video. Is that something possible with the, you know, personal branding content? Or you still kind of like separate all those videos and let's say if it's the top of the funnel, then you kind of do the lifestyle just to kind
Hmm.
of them engage, follow you, whatever. It's like, oh, I like this dude because he drives, you know, my situation, I drive M3. So it's like, oh, he has M3.
Nice.
Oh, I'm dreaming of M3, you know, so let me follow him. He has a sick car without even realizing that like, oh, this guy is doing e-commerce, you know, then so they're probably the middle of the funnel is going to be like something about me just talking about how I'm making the money, and then
Yes.
maybe the bottom of the funnel is like, hey, like if you also want to make money and drive M3, you know, comment below video and I'm gonna reach out to you. So I guess I'm answering my own question. It would be kind of hard to do this whole one video or this whole journey in one short length video, right? Like short form video.
Right. And I'll tell you why that is. Because you have to think of Instagram or YouTube as like its own asset.
Yeah.
Like when you do paid ads with your like e-commerce businesses, your Facebook account doesn't really like do anything for the purchasing journey. It's more like the video itself, that's the
Yeah.
asset. Versus
Yeah.
here, the whole Instagram page is the asset. And like, if you think of consumer psychology, like when they watch one video, they'll go watch a second video and a third video.
Yeah.
And that's where this comes into play. It's like it's split up into three parts.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it comes down to core message. That's we already went over the content philosophy and then the unique angle. And so, based on everything we talked about, based on like our messages before this call, I think the
Yeah.
big distinction we should make is that you're building real brands. And you're not just teaching people how to find a dropshipping product, pump and dump, make 10K and move on to the next one. Instead, you're building like an equity and a real company around it.
Hmm.
And so, and also that, I mean, I took some of your tweets that just kind of like go based on that's like the vibe I got when you're talking about like, the metrics and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that would be sort of like the belief shifting narratives that we really hone in for you.
No, yeah, I like that, and I think I like the angle of building MRR because right now it's very popular. I mean, everyone's kind of doing the supplements currently in e-commerce space because everyone been sold the idea that like, oh, you build the equity and then you can exit it, and then also you have the recurring revenue and everything, which I kind of fall for it as well, and that's why I started a supplement brand.
Hmm.
I have to say that I realize it's not as easy. And let's say if I would go after the beginners, it would be a little bit hard because even if they would buy the course, it would be unrealistic for them to start like a supplement brand because you need to put a lot of cash into the inventory. You have to be like liquid and cash flow heavy because you buy inventory. Like you're unprofitable, and I'm giving you sauce right now.
I'm
If you're ever
listening. I'm
gonna
listening.
go, if you're gonna go back to e-commerce, this is some sauce. So it's like with the first order, you're break even or unprofitable. So then you're kind of even losing money. And let's say if we're talking about some young guy that's still living with his parents, he's not gonna have that money, especially if you want to try and scale. So let's say like with my first month, I hit 70,000 MRR, which is, when you look at those like Twitter screenshots and everything, it doesn't seem that much. But in the first month to build that MRR, like I had to spend a lot of money. Like my first month, I was like down 80K without even seeing any profit. Not a lot of people have that amount of money. So I do like the angle, but then I guess that also if we are going after that, I do have to focus on people that are more intermediate than just beginners. And someone that already maybe did some e-commerce, they tried, maybe they actually one store work for them, but they can't make the second store work, maybe that would be the people. But again, I feel like it's very niche. It would be kind of hard even if someone would buy the course. Like I can give them the value. I don't know if I would really see the results because it's difficult and not everyone can do that. So
Hmm.
that's just also something that we can maybe talk about it later. I know you didn't have all of this information, but that's just also like I wanted to put it out there that with MRR businesses, it's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. And I'm happy you actually brought it up because that actually like validates the earlier point we talked about choosing beginners or intermediates because we can't do
Yeah,
both.
yeah,
And now we're learning why, right?
yeah,
So that's good. Yeah, so it's really dependent on who we sell to, and I think we should just start from there. Like we don't have to pick on this call, but it seems like we're leaning toward intermediates. So then,
yeah.
like the entrepreneurial journey for them, this is wouldn't really apply. This is more for beginners who have to like learn what it is and then get over like trial and error.
I've,
Um,
I've seen that chart somewhere.
okay, awesome. Okay, so then you're aware. Yeah, it's like whenever you
No,
sell to some, yeah,
sorry to interrupt you. Well, I'm saying that it was on my YouTube video actually, the same chart. So I also put it out there. That's why I'm laughing. Yeah.
yeah, I did my homework. So yeah, I mean that's where I got it from, and like who you sell to determines everything.
Yeah.
And so like when you're working with intermediates, their uncertainty might not be in like, does this work? Their uncertainty is what's the right strategy?
Hmm.
And so how does that translate in the content? Well, now when I write the scripts, that's something that we have to talk about. Strategy focused, not, entrepreneurial focused, like, oh, like, just get into business, quit a 9 to 5, all that sort of thing.
Okay.
Which is here. Like the fears change. The dreams, I mean, I guess the dreams are a little bit of the same, but I'm basically just looking for emotional drivers. And
Yeah.
so like when you're working with intermediates, they don't want quick results. They'd still like want success stories, but you would be the success story. And when you talk about like monthly recurring revenue, MRR with your supplement brand, we would still have some points of like, okay, like this is the emotional side because like emotion does sell, and I'd like to implement some of that in the content. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I would remap this like the age range. I mean, what would you say? Would you say it's like around like 22 to 30? I don't think it'd be as young since it's not beginners.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you pretty
Okay,
much. I mean, there's some freaking successful 16-year-olds, out there as well. So it's like you never
true.
know, but probably more than less. That's probably the good range.
Okay. Well, yeah, then I'll remap that. It'll also kind of remap the objections. So maybe one of the objections right now, like thinking off the top of my head, would be, you know, supplements are hard to source, or finding a supplier because it's a consumable. And I'm sure
Yeah,
there's more problems with consumable. It's not like a product you ship. It has to be approved by the FDA or whatever.
yeah.
Am I right on that?
Yeah. I mean, uh, you just need to have the good suppliers, but there's just more moving parts maybe when it comes to the advertising and marketing, like you can make crazy claims that some people do with like some, drop shipping products, but sourcing it's not as difficult. You can source them from China, you can source them in the United States as well. So it's not as complicated. And that's something the value that I can give also is just kind of putting them together with those, 3PLs and manufacturers that
Hmm.
work with supplements.
Okay. So yeah, then I think that would be one of it, finding suppliers.
Yeah.
And we can do market research. I mean, the great thing about content is that like we'll see data. Like we'll see the many chat, we'll see like are people commenting, we'll see the quality of the comments. Like are they from no name accounts or do these people like look like they've done e-commerce before?
Yeah.
So that's okay, that's something we'll map out. And then like I mean it changes the pain points as well. And we'll find like a solution to that. The one thing is like we shouldn't be too salesy because it's organic and people aren't buying from one video like we talked about. It's more of like a holistic brand approach.
Yeah.
And so that comes down to like sort of the content pillars. Like the first one is it's always going to be your own story. It's like people subconsciously ask themselves, why do I listen to this person?
Hmm.
And so that's why with the video, like I sent you over or just showed you, it starts with I made 30K in 30 days.
Yeah.
And then maybe I don't know how much you can show with your supplement brand, but anything founder led is really enticing because people see you building it in real time and they follow the journey. It establishes more trust and more credibility to your name.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so then we can talk about some of your mistakes, your strategies. These will be the content pill. Like these are just placeholders, so I can kind of show you like what I was thinking on our call. And
Hmm.
then the big thing I'd say is the format. And this is what I mean with the founder led, the educational we mentioned, and then the case study stuff too. Like your previous stores, do you have like access to them still? Like, are you able to share them? Because that would really help out.
No, I closed. I mean, I have some screenshots, I think, on Twitter, let's say me hitting, my first mill.
Oh
But
wow.
I don't have the access anymore. So it would
Okay.
be just maybe this, yeah, because
These?
those I think those are the my first store ever. I mean, you can see conversion rate is 0.4. It was horrible. Um, because I was like bumping the budgets the first day. Like I did not really know what I was doing. Like I didn't buy a course, I didn't do anything. Like I just watched YouTube video. I was consuming all the information that I could.
Hmm.
And it was great. I still made like 30 grand in revenue, but my margins were like 10% or something. Because I didn't really know what I was doing. But those are the old screenshots of like my first store ever. The
Okay.
other ones that worked out for me, there are some screenshots and everything to show like on Twitter, but I don't have the access anymore to the stores because it was a seasonal product that died out. So I just closed the store and everything.
Got it. Well, if you have
But
the
that might be a little bit more
screenshots,
challenging.
yeah, I think as long as you have the screenshots, we can use them.
I mean, I build a supplement run right now, so we can use that as well. Like I do consistently six figures a month. So that's something we could show if, let's say, we're going after that supplement angle. which
Hmm.
I don't know. I would need to think about it. I would need to probably research myself a little bit too, because I feel like there's also different objections with all of that, which we can talk about it later. But if we end up working together, but I don't know if that's it's a good angle. It's popular right now. I just don't know. I would need to do myself like some research as well and talk to you about it. Like share
Right.
some ideas what I think. But I can share the screenshots right now because I'm currently building it.
Okay, yeah. So I'll create a Google Drive link, and you can after this call you can paste all the assets you have in there, just so we build like a
Yeah,
master content doc for it.
fire.
Because a lot of other people also do like supplements and e-commerce as a whole, I think on top of your like education, there will be a lot of like personality as well. And I think
Hmm.
that could kind of really like do well. Like it could be like an 80-20 split around it. Because you mentioned you have an M3, like that could be the top of funnel content
That's
that
my
makes
personality. I'm three. Yeah.
right. So I think it all works together. Like
Yeah.
that's sort of like the biggest thing. I mean, if you have to take one thing away from the call, is that it's not just like one video that does it all. It's an entire system around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And personally, like I mean, I'll set up the automations for you. Like we'll track everything so we can actually like look at the data. Um, I would stick to one platform at a time. Because if we're building, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram all at the same time, I mean, that's three assets. That's three conversion mechanisms. That's three algorithms we have to look at. Why don't we nail down Instagram first or YouTube first? But I mean, I'd prefer short form just because we can pump out more content per month. And then we can like plug it into the YouTube if we need like help with conversions. But also we can look at the DMs and we can see the quality of the lead without having to build like a whole website for you and everything.
But I mean, we could post the same short form content that we would post on Reels, and then might as well post it on TikTok as well. So like, why? I
Yeah.
guess I understand for looking for the data and
Mhm.
analyzing it. That takes a little bit more work, but like I feel like it's kind of maybe like a missed opportunity that like you just all you need to do is just post on the other platform that takes 1 minute.
Yeah, and so we can do that. What I meant is we'll focus on one first because what does well on Instagram is different than what does well on TikTok. I mean, one's owned by like a Chinese company, one's owned by Meta. So the
Hmm.
algorithms are different, but we'll start off with the focus of let's optimize for Instagram. And yeah, if you want, we'll take those videos, we'll download them and we'll post them on TikTok just for added benefit, but they probably won't perform as well on TikTok.
Fair enough. Yeah,
But we can
yeah.
still post them, like it doesn't hurt. You're right.
I guess we could, what I would probably maybe come to conclusion is that we can focus, let's say, on Instagram. I feel like also Instagram followers are more valuable than TikTok.
Agreed.
Um, so what if we would focus on Instagram to kind of like really clear it out, like what's the angle we're going after, what's the demographic we're going after, right? What's the avatar we're going after?
Hmm.
Once we really figure that out, then we can go to other platforms because we already know who we're going after?
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so, I mean, there's another thing. It's like with Instagram, like in the DMs, we can talk to them and we can better understand like our ICP.
Yeah.
And like you will get DMs and like we can do story posts. We can do like sequences on your story that keeps the lead warm. So we'll get them
Yeah.
interested. And then when they follow us, we'll post stories. And also you can post like, your car and stuff, and that'll just like help keep them engaged with our account.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And so I'll quickly show you sort of like how I've systemized this. I'm really big on systems, so we can track everything. And essentially, I have like a pipeline here. And like once we do outline the audience, like we'll put it here in a doc. And then we have like a scripting, script revisions, approval, ready to film, ready to edit, editing, edit revisions, ready to post, posted. And these are
Fire.
all placeholders right now, but essentially we can like manually move these. So I'll have access to this, the editor will have access to it, and you will too. And so
Hmm.
I can write the scripts. I can assign, like my three best hooks. You can like pick one. We'll add the CTAs down here, and then I'll basically move it over to script revisions. And if you like it, perfect. You can like just move it to approval, and then we can film them. And if you need to, you can click on needs revisions. And when I refresh the page, this will automatically move back.
Okay.
Oh, I just did
I
it.
like it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that way, like me, you, and the editor are all on the same page. And also, like, if someone's slacking, like if you're not filming videos, if I'm not creating scripts and if the editor's not editing, well, it's all in one place. And we can like see what's the hole in the system and, how can we make it more efficient.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like this. I like when everything is organized in one place. So that's
Perfect.
good.
Yeah, so this is the pipeline I'd use. Then on top of that, just a monthly posting tracker so we can see like, is it top of funnel? Is it a story? So you can directly track like all the videos that I'm creating for you, like with the file, the profile. Like we can even track the views too, and like the amount of people that we're getting that are interested.
Fire. Okay.
Yeah, and with all the dates, of course. And I mean, we can update this monthly and go from there.
Okay.
Okay,
No, I like this.
awesome. Like, do you have any questions on everything so far, like how it works? Or like, do you want me to um
I feel like I didn't give you the spotlight to like talk about it and then me ask the questions in the end. Like I feel like I kind of made my objections and asked the questions while we talked. So as of
Okay.
right now, no. I think we didn't talk about the about your payment structure, right? For your like as a service. Um, do you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can. You just froze for a second.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see you now. It's done.
Yeah, it froze for a second, no?
Just your face, but I can still hear audio. You're good now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because your face froze as well, and I was like, hey, are we still here? Talk me through your payment structure and everything. So how like what do you charge and that stuff?
Yeah, of course. So, like, I'm here to provide value. Like, that's my number one thing. And I really want to show you that we can close clients and be like your in-house operator. So that way, you're able to like have a right-hand man. And so essentially, like my offer is we'd start with one reel a day. And this is to just get the consistency going first, and then we can scale like by the second or third month to 2 to 3 a day. But first, like, and this is a good thing is like I can script everything at once, and you can take one day of the week to film it. So you film on Monday, and then Instagram actually has a new feature. It's called remote access, and you can send me a link where I can post the videos for you, and it doesn't give me access to like delete the account or anything. Like just in case, I'll just only have permissions to post.
Okay.
And so all you would need to do is film once a week or approve the scripts once a week. The rest of the time you focus on your brand, on like building the supplement company that you have, and I'll take care of the scripting, the market research, the trend setting, the conversion strategy, the clipping, all the lead nurturing, managing the account, even some appointment setting. Like if you want me to talk in the DMs to some of these people interested to collect more information, I can do that as well and really like any other like miscellaneous activities you need so I can become that right hand man.
hmm Why can you tell me why do you think to start off with like one reel a day? Because from what I've heard, that usually it's the best to like post like 2 3 times a day on like Instagram Reels and like TikTok and everything.
Right.
Don't yeah.
I agree. And I think we should. However, that's a lot of filming and I'd rather us first, take 1 month to be consistent because I know you
Okay.
have a business to run.
Yeah.
And I'd rather focus on consistency first, establishing that. I mean, look, if by, 2 weeks in, like we haven't missed a single day, yeah, we can just bump it up then.
Okay. And would you have, you told me, okay, I would film one script a week, right? The script that you give me, I would just make the content. So out of that one script, you would make them, as I understand, the 7 videos, right?
Exactly. Well, it would be
Oh,
seven
okay.
scripts. Like it would be seven of
Oh,
these.
okay.
And you would just sit down. I mean, realistically, it'll probably take you 20 minutes to look at all seven, see if you like them. I'll fix them. And you would only
Okay.
need to record. So it saves you time.
Okay, I see, I see.
And
Okay.
it automates and basically like I'm so confident that we'll get this done because I see a lot of value in working together that I guarantee like if we don't close 99 five clients within 90 days of you launching the offer, obviously like we can't do it on the first month because you're not selling anything yet.
Yeah.
Um, I'll refund whatever you pay me just so we can incentivize each other to actually like optimize for sales.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and so yeah, like when I say incentivize for sales, what I typically like to do is have some sort of revenue share just so we're both like moving in the right direction. I want to actually be able to create content that is beneficial to you and doesn't just get you empty views. So
Mhm.
essentially, like my proposal is like 10% of the revenue generated, and then a monthly base fee of the entire system, like all the content and the scripting and everything, of 5K.
Okay. Um, so you would charge 5K flat, and then whatever I would, let's say, charge um for consulting service, then you would take 10% out of that as well.
Correct, of the content that I make.
Okay.
And so that way, like we're both incentivized to do a good job, and like our success is tied. Because if you were to
Mhm.
just pay the 5K, well then, I'm just creating content, whether it makes you money or not, it wouldn't technically be like associated with it, and so that's not good. We want to both be like at the same goal.
Yeah, okay, I like maybe the 10 commission because then it's like it keeps both of us motivated, right? I just
Yep.
think 5K maybe flat is a little bit too much. And don't get me wrong, like I don't underestimate the work and everything, the systems that you have and the value you provide. Maybe just more so like where I'm at, because I'm still my main focus is the supplement brand, right?
Hmm.
So this is kind of more just I don't want to say it that way, but it is kind of more like a side gig, if anything, just to kind of see. And again, I do value what you're providing and everything. Again, like for me, let's say realistically with all the AI and everything, like if I really, really wanted to, I could do it myself, right? Like I could get the strategy going, just chatting with AI, like, hey, this is the examples of Nathan, this and this and that, collect all of his data, like this is me, this is what I'm doing. What would you say would be the strategy and all of this stuff, right? Like AI is very powerful. It would easily make that happen. And I have video editors as well. I mean, they're e-commerce editors. I don't know if they would be able, to do what you're doing with all the personal branding. But again, I could always maybe outsource someone and it would be cheaper. But then again, like I don't really have the time, as you said, like I have a business running. So like I understand the value that you're bringing. It's just that 5K sounds a little bit too much for me right now. The
Hmm.
10%, I'm okay with it. Because again, I understand like if you're bringing me a lot of clients, it's more than fair. It's just the 5K that initial fee is like a little bit, and I understand you're gonna have the expenses of video editors and everything. I assuming you're not editing yourself. It's just if there's any room for that negotiation, like that would change the things a little bit.
Yeah, and I totally understand. There is room for negotiation for sure. Um, the reason the 5K is there is because, well, now I'm incentivized to stick with you as like my main client. Like obviously, like I have bills and I have things to pay as well. So if we were to
Yeah.
just do the 10%, because you don't have an offer, like I wouldn't see any of that 10% until you actually like launched it. And so that would be like a month or 2 months of me like working for free. And like I'm happy to provide that value, but it would mean I'd need to find other clients so I could pay
Yeah.
my own bills. And like, wouldn't you rather have me as an in-house operator that can like build you a competitive advantage? Because yeah, you could ask AI, but like AI is not doing the videos for you. And the editors, they're not going to know the pain points. They're just going to edit, like cut and paste, but it won't really bring in qualified leads for you.
But I would know the pain points, you know?
You do know the pain points, but also you're running the supplement brand, like you said.
Fair. No, no. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like, hey, let's just stick to the commission base and everything. Like I completely understand. Like there's, I need to eat, you need to eat, and again, you're running a good business, man. Like you're providing a lot of value, you did homework and everything. I value that. My more question is, okay, can we on that flat-based fee, can we have some room for negotiation there? So let's say, what would you think would be reasonable for you to like cover your expenses, cover your bills? I'm okay with the 10% commission. It's just
Okay.
what would you say? Could you go down with the 5K?
Yeah, so I mean, look, I'm happy to shave off like a grand and get to four. And I'll do that as a sign of goodwill, for the first month because like I won't even see any of that 10% anyways until you actually launch the consulting. Like I'd be just building your audience. And that way like we can actually get things going. But I would really need like yeah, at least the four just so I can fully commit to this and not have like other clients or have to like be like distracted by other people I'm working with.
But you know, you're gonna have the 10% that's gonna keep you motivated not to like look for other clients, right? Like as you say yourself, an example, if only I have 1,000 clients that I'm charging $1,000, that's $1 million. Now take 10% out of it, that's 100K. That sounds pretty motivating to me, right?
It does, yeah.
So it's like if you really believe in this partnership, you like believe that I can provide value, and I think I can. I think I do have the personality for it. I actually have the value. You know, I'm not trying to ask you to just make value out of, out of my ass. Like, hey, I had this one store that I just, ripped the content and everything, made some money. Now I need to squeeze that out of it and just let's do some personal branding. Let's sell a course. Let's make money. Like
Mhm.
I actually provide value, like I actually have something to give to people. And that in the end of the day is gonna beat all of those other guys. I think it's just gonna take time, as you say yourself. So 4K still sounds a little bit a lot for me because again, like I understand the value you're giving. If I had some time and I've put some time, I feel like I could maybe not as good. Fair enough. Like you have more experience in that than me, but I feel like I still could build some decent systems, angles to go after and everything. And then I would only need like an editor that's well, like maybe $1,000 a month, right? Like some overseas talent. So I
Mhm.
could have my cost without the commission also that might be 100K, right? In the near future. So I could do all of that. But then again, like this is your edge where it's like I don't have the time. So what would you be open for like 3,000? I feel like that's kind of reasonable to pay maybe your bills and then kind of still have the motivator, to have the 10%.
Yeah, I mean, so like with the editor, like yeah, it would be 1,000. You're right. Like you could do it overseas, but you'll get $1,000 worth of value back. He won't know the system, and like yeah, maybe the pain points, but also like the management. Like it's a lot to look at that board like every week and to create scripts that actually convert well. And like the scripting, like AI will give you generic stuff. Like it won't be as relatable as it needs to be. So like I'm happy that like you're willing to work with me on the three, but like I just think it's kind of far from the original five. Like I could suggest we do four the first month, and then I won't even see the 10%. And then when we do introduce the 10% because you'll launch the offer, we can then renegotiate the base because I'll have that 10%, but we'll stick at four for the first month.
Okay, what if we meet in the middle? What if we do 3,500? Okay, we
Meet
keep
at the
the
middle.
10%. We keep the 10%. If it goes well, and I mean we're gonna be working hard, I hope both of us to make this work. Again, the 10% is gonna bring you money. I'm happy maybe after, let's say, the first or second month, increase that base. So let's say we can then go to maybe 4,000, 4,500 when I actually see some kind of like return on investment, right? Because like right now, that's also going right out of my pocket completely without making any money out of it?
Right.
So yeah, like I understand the value you're giving me and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to work with you. I think you have a lot of value to bring. It's just that $4,000 is still quite a lot of money while I still run my supplement brand. I have my video editors I need to pay, and I mean, I don't want you to like, kind of deal with all of my side of business. It's just the 4,000 kind of is a little bit of a stretch. So I feel like it's fair if we meet at 3,500 with the opportunity to then increase the base or maybe even talk about the commission increase as well. Just
Hmm.
kind of based seeing on, the performance that we put in the next, let's say, 2, 3 months.
You're good at sales, bro. You sold me.
I
I like
appreciate it.
it I do like it because I see this as a long-term partnership. And so like
Exactly.
typically I'd like to be at the five, but if it means like we're gonna build something properly with the right foundation, we'll have the system so that when the page does blow up, like it's like a money printer for both of us.
Yeah.
I'm willing to invest in that because I see the vision. So yeah, I'd be happy to do the 3,500.
And look, I don't want to be the cheap guy. I don't want to undersell you. Like, as you say yourself, I think it's a long-term vision. Like, imagine if goes well, right? Like, I'm not gonna take all of your systems and just like, oh yeah, buy, and I'm gonna take someone else. Of course not. So if this goes well, we are probably talking about like, cooperating and working together for the next maybe 5 to 10 years, right? So the
I
more
love that.
money I'm gonna make. Yeah. So like I'm because that's the thing. It doesn't make sense for me to run somewhere else. Like you build me from the ground here. Why would I go somewhere else, right? So looking at the long term, dude, if I'm gonna be making money, like I don't mind giving you the commission. I don't mind to even give you the base thing as well. Maybe even give you some tips for e-commerce that you can start your store, you know? No, all jokes aside, like I'm looking
Okay.
at this as well, like long term. So I feel like I appreciate you going down. I feel like the 35 is gonna be fair enough for you to just cover the expenses right now, and then for us to really work hard to make this work.
Lucas, I love it, bro. Let's do it.
Okay, okay, amazing. So, how do you want to go about the
I'll
payment?
send it right now for the
Okay.
35, and then obviously like the 10, like we'll introduce that when we do get the offer up.
So, because you said what was it, 90 days if we don't have a single client,
Right.
then you're refunding those 3,500, right? Well, it's gonna be a little bit more at that time. It's gonna be over 10K.
Right.
Um,
But that's when there's no way for me to bring you five people right now because you don't have it built out
I know.
yet.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, that would
So,
apply. And by then, I mean, I'm sure of it. We'll already have like a huge audience of people to buy from you. So I guess the guarantee would apply when you do have something that you're actively selling.
okay, okay. Yeah, sounds good, dude. You
Okay.
say you want to send me the link? I can pay you right now.
Perfect. So I
And
just sent
then
it over.
let's get to work.
Do you see that?
Oh, I had it on wait, do not disturb. Yeah. Are you fine waiting? Because I see it's still
Yeah,
loading,
yeah.
but I see I need to fill out. It's like not loading fully. My bad. Okay. So what do we have Friday today? Do
Yeah,
you think
so
we can then hop on the call like Monday or something and then like get going right off the bat?
yeah, the first order of business would be I'll send you a Google Drive, an empty folder for you to put all your assets into it. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna redo some of the Miro boards so it's more for intermediate people that you
Okay.
sell to. And you can share, maybe if you can take some time to see like what screenshots you have and what you want to say, what you can't say for your current brand.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we can hop on a call as soon as that's done, hopefully like Monday, maybe even sooner, like Sunday, and we can get the process going.
Oh, if you work over the weekends too, dude, you should have went down to 3,500. I'm just kidding.
Um,
Okay. I just made the payment. I don't know if you can see it.
okay, let me just double check on my end. Yep, got it.
Okay. Okay,
Awesome, Lucas.
I'm excited, dude.
Me too, me too. Yeah, I
So
appreciate it. I think we have everything ready and we'll stay in touch the next couple days just so we can get all those files organized and we'll hop on like another call.
okay, so then I'm waiting for the Google Drive from you. You can probably set that us up right now, right? And then I'll
Yeah.
try to gather all of the screenshots, information, like some content to you, and then we'll move from there.
Yeah, I'll send you here. I can make it right now just so we have it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna send it to you. Okay. Yeah, I just sent it. So there you can put everything and shoot me like a message as soon as it's done. I mean, it'll probably take you only like 30 minutes or so. And we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much again for your time, man. I'm
All right,
excited.
brother. I'll look forward to working together.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
See you, Lucas. And there you have it. Lucas paid me $3,500 at the end of that call. And the big takeaway here is that even if you're a complete beginner, you can still land big clients as long as you've done your homework, you've done your research, and you have the right information. In fact, 90% of that sale was done before I even hopped onto that Zoom link. And Lucas noticed he made a couple comments about how I went and actually provided value. The point is that you're a doctor diagnosing your patient or your client with the problem and then providing them the solution that will actually fix their business. and ultimately provide as much value as you possibly can. These clients are business owners, they're very logical thinkers, so if you have good ideas, they'll be able to tell and they'll always work with you as a content operator. So I'll tell you what, I'm currently looking for 5 content operating students who want to work with me one-on-one to launch their business and land a super client like Lucas within the next 45 days. You'll be working with me one-on-one. I'll give you my personal phone number so that you can always call and text me. We have a direct line of communication and I can share all the correct systems with you so that ultimately you can go and make this into a real business model and get paid real money. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and schedule a one-on-one meeting with myself down below in the description of this YouTube video so that we can build you a custom roadmap and a game plan moving forward. And if I think we're a good fit, we can even start working together as soon as tomorrow. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.